Good afternoon, everybody. Today we're going to learn how to make scroll holders. What is a scroll holder? Well, it's protection for artwork that is given out at events as recognition for expertise in the arts or service or martial expertise. This is a scroll holder. This is full size. This is 16 inches by 13 inches. 16 by 13. And it's too big to have in my shop. So I'm going to make a half-sized version of this. But I will tell you what the full size numbers are as I do that. So, what are scroll holders made from? You're going to need 2 pieces of cardboard. That are 16 by 13. This is half size. I'm not going to give you those numbers. The fabric size that you need is, for full sized, it's 32 inches wide by 22 inches high. Now, I know there's a lot of people out there wondering what kind of fabric I use. And I would say just about anything. This is silk. I've also made them out of cotton and polyester and fake fur if the pile is narrow enough, meaning that you don't have too much fur on it. This is very flat. You can also use upholstery fabric, but you would need binder clips to hold that down while you're gluing things together. My friend Tatiana swears that cotton decorator fabric produced by Waverly is the best fabric to use. You're also going to need ribbon ties. Again, these are much smaller. You would use wider ribbon ties if this was a real scroll holder, about 3/4 of an inch wide by 16 inches long. You'll need 6 of them, 1 for top, bottom, and both sides. Thinner ribbon on a large size, on a full-size scroll holder, may cut into the scroll. I also use leftover seam binding for ties other than ribbon. A good place to get thicker ribbon by a large amount is cheaptrims.com. And they're not paying me to tell you that. That's just what Tatiana let me know. You're also going to need quilt batting if you want to go the extra mile. Quilt batting is going to protect the scroll. So you'd have the fabric, the cardboard, the quilt batting, which is going to be slightly smaller than your cardboard. And then for your final layer, you're going to need a layer of felt or flannel over top of the cotton quilt batting. So let's get started. First, you're going to lay out your fabric. This is pre-cut. Then you're going to lay out your cardboard on top of the fabric. You're going to leave about 2 inches on the top and bottom, and you're going to leave about 1 inch in the middle, because if you don't, you won't be able to close the scroll holder. To glue things together, today I'm using Aleene's acid-free tacky glue, but you can use Elmer's, that's just fine. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to glue the cardboard to the fabric. While you're gluing the sides and the corners. Next, you're going to glue the corners. If you want, you can trim the corners so that You're getting rid of some of the bulk of the fabric. There, the corners are trimmed. Now we're going to glue down the corners first. We're going to put a dab of glue in each corner and pull the fabric across. There, the corners are glued into place. Next, you're going to glue the cardboard and pull the sides in. Now your scroll and fabric are prepped. The next step is to add the ties. I don't measure, I just eyeball where these ties go. So we're just going to do that now. You're centering it as you can on each piece of cardboard. Top. A good tip, if you're not good at measuring, is to use fabric that has a plaid pattern like this, and that way you can say, oh, the white part up here matches the white part down there, so I know that's where I'm going to glue my ties. Now that your ties are glued into place, it's time to put the quilt batting on there. This quilt batting is a little too big for this scroll, so I'm going to trim it down a little bit. There we go, that's a better size. So now I'm going to glue the quilt batting down. And now we're ready for the last step. Now we're going to glue the protective felt over top of the quilt batting. And your scroll holder is complete. There you go. My recommendation is to let it dry for 48 hours. Before you put any scrolls in it, let it dry flat, of course. And there you go. This is a great way to use up your scraps, your cardboard, your leftover ribbons, anything you want. And these, one last word about these, they don't have to match. They can be different colors all the way around.